But this had a big problem come along with it that I didn't really realize until about 6 months ago when I learned about a super specific thing that literally no one talks about, and I'm going to tell you in this video what that thing is, and it's so interesting. If you clicked on this video, then you're probably aware that you aren't very mentally tough. You probably give in to a lot of the temptations that your brain manages to persuade you that you should do. You're probably addicted to social media. You're probably addicted to vaping, addicted to weed. You probably skip leg day at the gym when your brain tells you that you shouldn't bother going and you should just go the next day because you're a bit tired right now and you can't really be bothered going to the gym. You see, there's a lot of things that we can do to make ourselves mentally tougher, but there's one key thing that I learned from an Andrew Huberman podcast, which really helped me to kind of visualize how to actually become mentally tougher. And I think it's helped me because I've managed to stop doing a lot of the bad habits that I would usually give into along my self-improvement journey. Like, I don't watch porn anymore, I don't have social media anymore, I don't vape anymore, I barely ever skip the gym. I mean, there's a couple times, I'm not gonna lie, that I have skipped the gym, but mainly because of other issues and other circumstances, not because I was like mentally incapable of going. So there's a couple of things we can do, and in this video I am going to tell you what I've done and what's really helped me to be able to become mentally tougher. When I was in high school and I was doing my GCSEs, and in the UK the GCSEs is like your final exams of high school. I don't know what this is called in America, but I was doing my GCSEs, and this is like the final exams that you do before you go to college, or before you go to like universities after college. So like before you go to college or sixth form. And for the GCSEs, you had to revise for them to obviously like understand the knowledge and to like remember what to do for the exam, right? So literally what I would do is I would have a GCSE coming up literally the next day, and the night before the GCSE I would get all my notebooks out from my school bag, my like, you know, little crinkly up like notebooks that are all messy and like unkept because I didn't care at school, right? And I would just revise last minute, and I would cram in all the revising that I would have to do, and I would do it pretty much all night. Especially for business, there was a few nights where I actually just did all-nighters, so I'd literally just stay up for the whole night. I didn't bother sleeping, just get all the knowledge into my head so that when I go into the exam, I would be prepared and ready to actually like do well in the exam. And the reason I did this was because I was under the impression that if I did the revising like really close to when the exam was, like all the revising, then it would be more fresh in my mind, so I would perform better in the exam. And to be fair, I actually didn't do too badly in GCSEs, but I think this is just because I'm quite naturally like autistically capable of just like bringing up knowledge from my brain, whereas other people have to revise for longer. But this had a big problem come along with it that I didn't really realize until about 6 months ago when I learned about a super specific thing that literally no one talks about, and I'm going to tell you in this video what that thing is, and it's so interesting. I basically had a very undertrained AMCC, and an AMCC, it stands for anterior mid-cingulate cortex. It's an area of your brain, it's like geeky as fuck, right? You don't need to know this, but it's like an area of your brain that is responsible for like discipline essentially. And because I just revised the night before the exam and did the bare minimum that I needed to do just to like pass the exam, I had a small AMCC. So how do you get the AMCC to be bigger? Well, you basically need to just be disciplined. And every time that you have the voice in your head saying to you, oh, we can skip leg day today and we'll just do it tomorrow because like I'm a bit tired, I can't really be bothered doing legs today. Every time you get the voice that's telling you to not do a certain thing, right? Oh, just eat the cookie, just eat the junk food, eat the crisps, you know, just go buy a vape, you know, it's only once, you know, just get a vape, you can use it for a couple of days, then you can bin it. Every time you get a little voice in your head that's persuading you to do something bad that you know you shouldn't be doing, if you can combat that voice and just go train legs anyway, and just avoid eating the cookies and just go for the walk and do the cardio, if you can combat that voice and do the hard work when you really don't want to do the hard work, and you practice discipline, that is what's going to train your AMCC. And in fact, it goes a step beyond that. I'm recording videos now, and I want to record like 3 videos right now and then edit them. So I'm going to record 3. This is the second one, and I want to record 3. So I've set out 3 for myself. Now, if I get those 3 done, that's not requiring any discipline, like really, because I've said to myself I'm going to do 3 videos. But if I record a 4th, when I'm like, right, I've done 3 videos, I'm done now. I can just go record, I can just go edit them and then, you know, chill. But if I push myself to just be like, what, I'll do a 4th, you know, just push myself, and I kind of really don't want to. I'm like, well, I've accomplished the task, so there's no point me doing a 4th. If I can go and do a 4th, that is going to train my AMCC. And when you have a bigger AMCC, you basically become a more disciplined person. So once I learned about this, and I learned from Andrew Huberman podcast that I think he did with Chris Williamson on Modern Wisdom. Once I learned about this, it enabled me to understand finally how to be a disciplined person and how to be mentally tougher. And for a long time, you know, you see these people going out for runs at like 5 o'clock in the morning, and they go weightlifting and they do all these stuff, these great things. And you watch people like Hamza and Iman Gadzhi, and you're like, wow, they're so disciplined. They're so like driven. Like, how do they do it? Like, how could they possibly do it? And it's just because they have, I guarantee if you did a brain scan of Hamza, he would just have a really big AMCC, because it's basically whenever you tell yourself not to do something and you combat that and just do it anyway, that's what's going to grow the AMCC, and that's what's going to, that is essentially what makes you mentally tougher. So every time you pull your phone out your pocket, right, you're bored and you pull your phone out your pocket and you just go straight, you like instinctively go onto Instagram or TikTok and you just open it up and start swiping. Stop, right, and come off and just really make an effort. Like, it's almost like a task for you to just not go onto that social media, even when your brain is telling you to do it, right? But this could be like, especially when you're laying in bed, you're about to go to sleep and you just go on your phone, right? Don't do that, okay? And this is difficult. It sounds easy when I'm just telling you, right? It sounds fucking easy to do this. This is hard. And it's what prompted me to delete social media, because I just thought, it's a bad habit, and it's taking up so much of my time, and there's so many negatives come along with it, and I just hate, it's like social media, I hate the online world. It's so pointless, and it's just like, you know, big successful people just aren't like constantly on social media. So I was like, right, I'll just delete it. And that took a lot of like power and mental toughness to be like, fuck, I'm so addicted, I need to have social media. And I just managed to one day just delete it, right? So that was like the first thing. And, you know, mental toughness in terms of other things like video games, right? I was super addicted to video games when I was like 18, 16, 17, 18. I was just playing video games non-stop. I was addicted to like GTA 5 especially. Oh my God. I don't even want to, I know that in the settings on GTA 5, you can look at the like hours spent in the game and how much time you put into it. I don't want to look at it, because I remember I actually looked at it when I was 18, and it was over like 2 months. It was like 62 days of just constantly playing GTA 5, which is insane. 2 months of my life gone playing GTA 5. That's just crazy to me. And it'll be more, because that was like a while ago that I looked at that. So it'll probably be more now. So it was stuff like that. Like, how could I need to become mentally tougher and more disciplined so that I can stop playing video games. And it was this kind of information that I got. It was like this moment where I was like, holy shit, okay, so there's a tangible area of the brain, the AMCC, there's like a specific area of the brain that I can almost train, like my biceps, like my back or my chest. There's like it's like a muscle. Think of it like a muscle, right? And you need to train this muscle, right? We all go to the gym, we all train biceps, we all train legs, we train our muscles, but we don't train our brain, right? And the brain is the thing that's like, it's way more important than getting a sick physique, is getting a good, mentally tough, disciplined brain. So train your anterior mid-cingulate cortex, okay? Easiest way to do it is to just go that one step beyond and do harder things than you set out to do. And practice willpower, practice discipline. Every time that voice in your head tells you to do something, or tells you that you've done enough, or tells you that you're finished now, or tells you that, you know, and you just kind of finish at like 60% of your potential, go one step beyond, go to 80%, go to 90%, go to 100% of your potential. And like, work as much as you can. When you're at the gym, push for that next couple of sets. Even though you're exhausted, just go that like little step further. When you're just tired and you sat around in the house and you're tempted to open Netflix and watch some like films on Netflix, just think, what if I go for a walk instead, or something like that, right? Just do something disciplined. Do something that you don't necessarily want to do, but just go do it anyway, because that's training your AMCC. And if you stay within the comfort zone and you stay in the confines of your comfort, you're not going to grow and you're not going to be able to train your AMCC. And like, this information for me, just like, because I'm quite a nerdy person, right? I really like science and biology, and learning this, I was like, shit, there's an area of the brain that actually like grows bigger when you become more disciplined. So I think this is a super kind of important turning point of advice for me anyway, and I hope that it is for you. I hope you hearing this right now, it makes sense, and I hope that you kind of hear this and you're like, holy shit, okay, so there's an area of the brain that gets bigger with discipline, so the way to get mentally tougher is to just train that, and the way to train that is to just do things even though your brain is telling you not to do them, and to avoid doing things that your brain tells you to do that you know you shouldn't be, like porn. When you're just like super just like sat around just like horny for some reason and you're super tempted to watch porn, train your AMCC. Just think, right, but what should I do for my AMCC, right? And the answer is, don't watch porn. Willpower, practice willpower and discipline. And if you can go for a few months of just thinking about this, I guarantee if you can avoid doing the bad habits and actually practice discipline and do disciplined things, it's going to increase the size of your AMCC and it's going to make you mentally tougher. It did for me anyway, because a lot of the bad habits that I was doing, I have stopped doing, and I feel better for it. So I hope you found some value in that video, bro. Thank you for watching, and yeah, just keep improving yourself every day, and I'll see you in the next one.